Samira, bonjour à tous. Après 2 semaines de pause, parlementaire de retour à l'Assemblée nationale ce mardi. Patrick Hilbert, bonjour.
Bonjour Priscilla et bonjour auditeurs et auditrices.
Private notice question, leader de l'opposition, Joe Lejongar, adressé au Premier ministre Navin Ramgoolam, PNQ, l'affaire jet privé en provenance de Madagascar qui finit atterrir à l'aéroport de Plaisance le 12 octobre dernier. Joe Lejongar qui demande au chef du gouvernement pour préciser l'identité de passager et membres de l'équipage à bord, mais aussi le nombre de valises qu'ils ont fin transporter, les aussi qu'on raison de l'arrestation de 3 dimoun par Financial Crimes Commission. Leader de l'opposition, Patrick, voulait aussi qu'on conclusion, rapport d'enquête, l'eau, circonstances entourant cet incident-là. Donc, si ça rapport-là pour un public et qui mesure qui fin prend par l'autorité.
Tout à fait, Priscilla, c'est un véritable feuilleton auquel nous peut assister depuis ces 2 dernières semaines. Donc tout, comment on finit de dire, commence par l'atterrissage d'un jet privé à Plaisance dans une circonstance trouble le 12 octobre vers 1h du matin, 0h44 pour être plus précis, avec à son bord Mam Ravatoumang, 56 ans, un des hommes les plus riches de Madagascar, magnat des affaires, allié proche de l'ex-président malgache Ange Radzoaline, soupçonné d'avoir financé la campagne de ce dernier et aussi un projet controversé. Ravatoumang finit un voyage avec son madame, avec les autres membres de sa famille, mais aussi avec Christian N.C., ex-premier ministre malgache, donc il finit démissionner 10 jours plus tôt. Madagascar finit d'émettre un mandat d'arrêt international contre l'homme d'affaires pour corruption, détournement de fonds, une affaire d'avion qui finit passe par Madagascar, Boeing, avant d'aller à Iran, faire l'Iran donc. Et la Financial Crimes Commission à Maurice, lui aussi, il finit ouvert l'enquête portant sur le transfert de 7,3 milliards de roupies à Maurice. Man actif de Ravatoumang fin gelé d'ailleurs par la Cour suprême à la demande de la FCC, Priscilla. 24 octobre, vendredi dernier, Ravatoumang a informé qu'il y fit une place en état d'arrestation par la FCC. Deux les autres Djimoun aussi fin arrêtés le même jour, interpellés. Donc David Jean-Christian Thomas, 38 ans, qui travaille dans le groupe Sodiat pour l'homme d'affaires. Et puis aussi Nassir Beki, un troisième Djimoun, lui aussi fin arrêté vendredi très tard, avant son embarquement dans un avion pour quitter le pays. Donc Sotpé accusé de trafic d'influence. Et Priscilla, dimanche dernier, coup de théâtre avec la démission de Junaid Fakim, un des 4 commissaires de la FCC. Une enquête aussi fin commencé au lit avec un éventuel lien entre lui avec Bandimoun proche de Mam Ravatoumang.
Merci pour sa mise en contexte là, Patrick Hilbert. Nous vous prenons tout de suite la direction de l'Assemblée nationale pour suivre cette PNQ de Joe Lejongar adressée au Premier ministre Navin Ramgoolam.
Announcements, none. Papers have been laid. Questions?
Honourable Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I've given notice of the following private notice question addressed to Dr. the Honourable Prime Minister, Minister of Defence, Home Affairs and External Communications, Minister of Finance, Minister for Rodrigues and Outer Islands. Whether in regard to the Cessna Station 5R HMR private jet from Madagascar, which landed at the Sir Sagar Ramgoolam International Airport on 12 October 2025, he will, for the benefit of the House, obtain information as to the A, names of the passengers and of the crew members on board, same, and the number of suitcases in their possession, B, reasons for the arrest of Mr. MR, Mr. DJCT, and Mr. NB by the Financial Crimes Commission, and C, conclusions of the investigation report on the circumstances surrounding the incident, indicating the measures taken and whether the report will be made public. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honourable Prime Minister.
Madam Speaker, I'm informed by the Acting Director of the Civil Aviation that on the 12th of October 2025, following a request made by Jet Prime Limited on behalf of Transocean Airways, initially for medical evacuation, then for tourism purposes, and finally for shortage of fuel, they asked that they be allowed to land. In line with the International Civil Aviation recommended practices, the Department of Civil Aviation allowed the plane to land. The aircraft, a Cessna Citation 560XL, bearing registration number 5RHMR, landed on the 12th of October 2025 at 0044 hours. With regard to Part A of the question, there were 5 passengers on board, namely Mrs. Ravatomanga, Mr. Ravatomanga, Mr. Ravatomanga Rami Vialichana, Mr. Nitse Louis Christian, and Mr. Ravatomanga Aina Fenusa. And also there were 2 crew members together. You want the name, maybe Mr. Ramanan Soa and Mr. Hasian Yavo. 2 senior officers of Customs Department of the Mauritius Revenue Authority proceeded to Jet Prime Limited at 0045 hours and gave clearance to land for the 5 passengers and the 2 crew members. 9 pieces of luggage and 6 pieces of handbags were scanned and cleared for the passengers. 2 pieces of handbags were scanned and cleared for the crew members. All 5 passengers declared that they had in their possession a total of 10,000 euros. It is to be noted that on the 13th of October 2025, at 14:00 hours, the Customs Department of the Mauritius Revenue Authority carried out a search of the aircraft in the presence of the captain. Nothing compromising was found except for 1 suitcase-like bag, Ineos, and the captain explained that the bag belonged to Mr. Ravatomanga. The bag was secured and was not open. An appointment was scheduled on the 14th of October 2025 for examination in the presence of its owner, Mr. Maminian Ravatomanga, and the bag was opened and contained a car sunroof accessory only. It is to be noted that this suitcase-like bag was among the bags which were scanned and cleared on the 12th of October 2025, but the owner requested that it be returned on board because he would not need it during his stay in Mauritius. Madam Speaker, with regard to Part B of the question, it is well established and common knowledge that the arrest of any person by the Financial Crimes Commission, like any other investigative authority, must be based on reasonable suspicion of commission of an offense having been committed by that person. I am given to understand that the Financial Crimes Commission sought the views of the Director of Public Prosecutions prior to the arrest. The 3 persons have been arrested in connection with their suspected involvement in the offense of money laundering. The investigation is ongoing at the level of the Financial Crimes Commission, and the latter has already and is continuing to communicate officially on its website in that respect. At the request of the Conseil National de Défense de la Transition, Mrs. Ernerva and Mr. Antem Ramparani were allowed to enter Mauritius on the 17th of October of this year to provide information and coordinate actions regarding the investigations involving Mr. Ravatomanga. I regard Part C of the question in line with the policy of my government to be transparent and accountable in public affairs. Unlike the previous government, I will be tabling a copy of the report, including the conclusions thereof. Madam Speaker, this inquiry has international ramifications, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, has already sent a request for information and has offered to help in the investigation in relation to the sale to Iran of 5 Boeing 777 aircrafts against the embargo imposed by the United States. I propose to also enlist the services not only of the FBI, but also other international foreign investigative authorities who said they are prepared to assist in the investigation.
Thank you. Supplementary?
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. Let me begin by this. This scandal, with a lot of ramifications, stinks from day one and involves a lot of very important institutions of our country and also political nominees of the actual government. Can the Honorable Prime Minister inform the House for such an important thing? Why the acting Prime Minister was not made aware of the request for lending of this private jet? Don't you feel that he should have been made aware?
I certainly agree with that. He should have been made aware.
May I ask the Honorable Prime Minister why then he was not made aware?
Well, you will see in the report. I will be tabling the report. I can table it now. Yeah. You want me to walk up and table it? Somebody come and table it. But they went through the procedure that they didn't perhaps look at the political implications. They went through procedures and they allowed the aircraft to land because they checked on world check, on all these international. They don't do all the checks, unfortunately. I will be coming to the House to say that we have to have other checks. But they went through all the procedures. They didn't see anything against these persons, and they allowed them to land at the airport.
Second.
In his resignation letter, Madam Speaker, the former board member of Airports Holding Limited and Jet Prime Limited stated, and I quote, that the management of Jet Prime Limited professionally attended a life-saving evacuation in Madagascar pursuant to a military coup. Should we understand that reasons given by the pilot for emergency landing were not correct and that local authorities at the airport were well aware of that situation?
I can't say whether they were well aware, but it is clear from when you look at the report that it was planned, pre-planned. First of all, they asked for a medical evacuation. Then they changed it on the same day for a tourism request to land. And then later on, they said there's low fuel in the plane, their fuel is very short, and they want to land. 3 reasons for the same plane. So obviously, lots of things. Jet Prime will have to answer later on about what was its involvement exactly, because it looks to me like it was pre-planned.
I think this is in the report, but may I ask the Honorable Prime Minister, who gave the final authorization for the landing of that private jet?
The Deputy Civil Aviation, Acting Director of the Civil Aviation, liaised with the Passport and Immigration Office, and they checked on the world check, on the other checks that they did. There was nothing against these passengers at the time, so they allowed to land.
Then, Honorable Prime Minister, do you mean to say that nobody from your office was informed and nobody from your office cleared that landing?
PIU falls under my office, Madam Speaker. PIU, Passport and Immigration Office, falls under the PMO.
No, I'm talking about the SecTuCab and the Secretary for Home Affairs, Madam Speaker. Were they not informed?
Yeah. The Secretary for Home Affairs was informed because of the PIU falls under her. She looks at the PIU.
So they were informed? No?
They. I said the Secretary for Home Affairs.
Now, let me come to part D of my main question, Madam Speaker, in relation to the ongoing investigation by the Financial Crimes Commission. Can the Honorable Prime Minister... Can the Honorable Prime Minister confirm whether the resignation of the former Commissioner, Mr. J.F., is related to the ongoing investigation? And if this is the case, will he inform the House whether charges will be leveled against that gentleman?
As I always said, Madam Speaker, we will leave no stone unturned. Whoever gets involved, they will have to answer for that question. He has, I saw in the paper that he has given reasons for personal reasons, but an investigation is ongoing. He will be called, I'm sure, if he hasn't been called already.
Madam Speaker, the Honourable Prime Minister must be aware of the very serious allegations that are being levelled against officers of the FCC, including the Acting Director General, regarding an eventual traffic d'influence. Will he give assurance that if there is any inquiry against officers of the FCC, it will not be for the FCC to carry out that inquiry, and if this is the case, that necessary decisions will be taken to ensure the proper functioning of the FCC?
We're not living in the era of the MSM, Madam Speaker. If that you were in power now, I can tell you, for sure I can tell you, this gentleman would have been allowed to leave Mauritius quietly, nothing would have happened, but money would have worked under the table. This is not the case here. This is not the case here. Nobody will be spared. Nobody will be spared. And besides, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. What is happening now? People are being arrested, are being questioned. Nobody is being spared.
Madam Speaker, political nominees are nominees of the actual government referring to the past. Now, Madam Speaker, there are also allegations of a meeting which took place at Quatre Bornes in the presence of Mr. JF and some other persons. Will the Honourable Prime Minister inform the House whether he is aware of that meeting, and can he confirm whether Mr. HF, the chairperson of the Central Electricity Board, was also present in that meeting? Je suis tenté, Madame la Présidente, de me référer, donnez-moi l'occasion, à une phrase du film Cholet qui dit qui t'est admis. Combien de personnes il y avait à cette réunion?
I could also say, do you know, I'm told from the press, people in the press, that the people very, very close to the top hierarchy of the MSF also have been convicted. But you don't seem to know this. You don't seem to know this. As I say again, I cannot know. I'm not investigating. I'm not the investigator. Let the FCC do the investigation as they're doing, properly questioning everyone. And they will be questioning everyone.
Yes.
If he's aware,
Question.
may I ask him whether he's aware that during that meeting, there was a telephone conversation with a member of his government?
How would I be able to know whether there was a telephone or not telephone? Let the inquiry find out. Huh? Yeah.
Yes.
Madam Speaker, we know that Madagascar has been suspended by the African Union. Is the Honourable Prime Minister aware that the Deputy Prime Minister told a media that the government has, and I quote, de très bonnes relations avec le nouveau président et avec le nouveau régime? Are we made to understand that the government is accepting the new president of Madagascar?
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition has no experience in diplomatic matters, clearly. Clearly has no experience. There has been a takeover. It's not quite a military coup, as people are saying. There was a revolt in Madagascar. It's different from it, as if the military came and did a coup. It's different. But they have taken over. The president has, the former president has left the country. What we want to ensure is that Madagascar comes back to proper civil governments with an election. That is what we are trying to do.
Thank you. Can the Honourable Prime Minister state to the House the stand of Mauritius, the stand Mauritius has taken at the SADC in relation to the situation in Madagascar?
There has been no position taken by SADC. I know some people, you want to listen, Honourable Leader of the Opposition, some people, SADC went there, but we're not aware of what has ensued after that.
Can the Honourable Prime Minister inform the House whether himself or the Deputy Prime Minister during his actingship were in communication with the former President of Madagascar when he left Madagascar?
Neither of us have, obviously.
May I ask the Honourable Prime Minister, the pilot provided multiple reasons to justify lending, and the first of which was for medical reasons. Can the Honourable Prime Minister inform the House if the Ministry of Health was informed immediately and if a team was sent to the airport?
No, I think, Honourable Leader, let me remind you, first of all, they said it was for medical evacuation. Secondly, then it came to tourism. Thirdly, it came to lack of fuel in the airplane. So 3 reasons on the same day, within hours. So that gentleman is now in a clinic. I have said that it's too easy for somebody just to go in the clinic and say, I've got a cardiac problem. We will be sending officers, public officers from the Ministry of Health to check whether it's true or not. We have to check.
Madam Speaker, a cabinet decision, that is the decision of the 17th of October, mentioned that the acting director of the civil aviation referred the matter to the police. Can we know on what date was the statement taken?
You'll see in the report that I've just circulated, various étapes de ce qui a été, ce qui s'est passé.
Then you'll be able to put a proper question next time if you read the report. No, but you can.
This is my time. I have the right to put questions, Madam Speaker. You should not tell me to come later.
No, I say you can. I'm not telling you. I'm only saying that if need be, you will be able to do that.
Yeah,
But you can still carry on. You can still carry on.
Madam Speaker, can the Honourable Prime Minister inform the House, given the circumstances in which the private jet landed, why was the pilot authorized to take off shortly afterwards?
Well, there were 2 pilots. And suppose you're referring to the captain of the aircraft. Again, while the checks were done, nothing was found against him. He was allowed to leave. But as I say, we will incorporate a new system where all this, lots of countries are doing it. In Africa, in Europe, in Australia, in New Zealand, lots of countries are doing it. In Asia as well. So we will have to do the same system, I believe.
Can I ask the Honourable Prime Minister to confirm to the House whether the private jet was refueled upon landing?
This investigation will look into all this. He said, the captain said there was no fuel in the jet and they were allowed to go. So I suppose they were not refueled straight away because they were allowed to land.
I don't know whether the Prime Minister has this information. Can he also provide to the House information with regard to the type of passports in possession of the passengers?
You mean whether they were diplomatic passports? I believe not. But I can't say. The investigation will be able to look at all this.
Now, the acting Prime Minister claimed in a press conference that he was not made aware of this incident, whilst the executive chairperson of Airport Holdings stated that the acting Prime Minister was kept aware at all times. Which is which?
Well, he's lying. The Deputy Prime Minister was not made aware. I can say that.
He's lying, you say?
The other guy is lying.
This is very serious, Madam Speaker, if he's lying. Now,
He said the Deputy Prime Minister is lying. I said the other guy is saying that the Deputy Prime Minister was made aware. He was not made aware. That's what I'm saying.
He understood.
now, the acting Prime Minister has also expressed dissatisfaction that 2 flights to Madagascar during that period were cancelled. To which the former chairperson of Air Mauritius replied that it was for security reasons. Can I ask the Honourable Prime Minister whether this has also been cleared?
I don't quite follow the question. The question is about this plane, which now you're asking about other planes.
That statement was made by the acting Prime Minister.
Even if it was made by the acting Prime Minister, the question is about this plane.
He promised the nation that everything will be cleared.
Well, I can tell you everything will be cleared.
Let's hope so.
Your friend. Yeah, your friend. Yes. So do you have-
Thank you. Madam Speaker, may I ask the Prime Minister in relation to Part B of the question, with regards to the alleged offences of money laundering, will the Prime Minister reveal the names of the management companies, the banks and the real estate promoters who have helped, allegedly, this person to stash so much money in Mauritius, contrary to FATF rules? And it looks like, again, there has been loopholes that has been found by those persons. Will he now, it doesn't matter whose regime it was, what matters is what we will do about it. Will he now seriously investigate, cause a serious investigation, who may, regardless of who might be involved, to ensure that we protect the financial services sector and that we ensure integrity of the Mauritian economy?
I remember very well, your own father was Minister of Finance around the time all this was happening, including the MSM government, but we will ensure. That is what I said, no stone will be left unturned.
Yes.
Madam Speaker, may I ask again the names? We are interested to know who are the banks, who are the management companies, who are the real estate promoters that have allegedly aided and abetted. This is what we are interested in.
Well, member must learn to be careful. It is not for me to name names. An investigation is ongoing. So if you name names, you know what's going to happen? This is precisely what they want. They will take the money out of the bank.
Okay. We're done. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes.
Voilà donc pour cette PNQ de Joe Lejongar adressée au Premier ministre Navin Ramgoolam, une PNQ qui tient accès à l'affaire jet privé en provenance de Madagascar qui fait atterrir à l'aéroport de Plaisance le 12 octobre dernier. Joe Lejongar qui fait une demande au chef du gouvernement pour préciser l'identité de ban passagers et qu'un ban membre de l'équipage à bord, mais aussi le nombre de valises qu'ils ont fait transporter. Les fins ou les aussi comme raison de l'arrestation de 3 Dimoun par Financial Crimes Commission, leader d'opposition qui fin ou les aussi connaît si ban conclusion rapport d'enquête aux circonstances cet incident-là pour rendre public. Alors d'abord Navin Ramgoolam fin dire que l'aviation civile fin gagne une demande dans l'espace de quelques heures donc pour une évacuation médicale, ensuite tourisme, ensuite manque d'essence, c'est-à-dire qui finalement donne l'autorisation et il y a 5 passagers à bord, 5 membres de la famille Ravatomang, 2 pilotes. Alors un peu plus tard, le Premier ministre dit pas capable de dire si ce type de voyage avec un passeport diplomatique pour bien checker. Il dit aussi qu'ils ont 5 valises, 9 valises en cette possession et ils dit qu'ils ont environ 10 000 € au total. Elle m'aurait fin faire une vérification lors de cette enquête et que pas fin trouve non ni de compromettant dans ban valise. Et il dit en ce qui concerne l'enquête de la FCC, fin une arrestation de 3 personnes qui soupçonnaient de blanchiment d'argent et l'information Patrick Hilbert c'est que Premier ministre dit qui rapport et que conclusion ça l'enquête là pour rendre public donc l'époux table ce rapport là.
Oui, donc il s'agit du rapport par rapport à une circonstance de l'atterrissage de cet avion, sa jet privé qui appartenait à l'homme d'affaires malgache, Mamravatumong. Donc il y a beaucoup de polémiques autour de ça. Il y a une demande de l'opposition depuis bien longtemps, y compris du leader de l'opposition dans sa question, dans ce PNQ. C'était la dernière partie de sa question à la PNQ. Est-ce que le Premier ministre peut table une copie du rapport? Effectivement, il confirmé, l'infinitable une copie du rapport. Donc, très probablement, le rapport sera disponible pour que la presse capable d'y s'éclire dans les minutes, dans les heures qui suivent.
Et le Premier ministre dit que c'est l'enquête, en fait, l'enquête qu'il peut faire, c'est une enquête qui a une ramification internationale.
Tout à fait, donc l'Indie très clairement qu'ils n'ont pas pour leave no stone unturned, donc il veut dire que la FCC a les mains libres pour enquêter dans cette affaire. Dit aussi qu'au niveau de quand Joe Lejonga peut dire que voilà, mais il y a une allégation concernant le acting directeur des enquêtes de la FCC, donc le Premier ministre fait ressortir clairement que le travail faire et que l'enquête sera faite dans toute sa rigueur, en toute transparence. Il y a aussi une question par rapport à un membre du board de Jet Prime qui finit démissionner dimanche, hier, donc fin démissionné hier. Donc Jet Prime, il faut savoir que c'est le service de lounge qui finit offert au jet privé. Donc c'est un lounge qui occupe tout un jet privé qui est parti à Maurice. Donc tu as sa former board member de cette compagnie, Jet Prime, qui est une compagnie étatique qui est présent quand sa jet privé finit atterrir le 2 octobre à 0h44. Donc là aussi, le Premier ministre finit de dire que Jet Prime peut bien répondre, peut bien à une possible allégation qui est là autour de toute cette affaire.
Une allégation qui porte notamment une réunion aussi donc qui finit là et une question de Joe Lejonga si finit là l'appel donc qui finit passer à un membre du gouvernement et Premier ministre dit comment il peut comme ça bien laisse l'enquête suivre ce cours. Alors une autre question fin porte Patrick la position de Maurice vis-à-vis de Madagascar.
Voilà, donc là aussi, nous connaissons qu'il y a certaines instances internationales comme l'Union africaine, par exemple, finissent suspendre Madagascar à cause de la manière qui finit à ce passage de pouvoir-là, par finir à l'élection pour ce passage de pouvoir-là. Donc, le Premier ministre finit de dire comme ça, voilà, finit à un takeover, mais c'était dans un contexte de révolution, donc c'était pas une police, c'est différent d'un coup d'État. Mais seulement, il finit aussi que Maurice peut respecter l'institution internationale, bien sûr. Finit aussi que visiblement, Joe Lejonga pas les relations diplomatiques, les relations internationales, donc bizarre replace tout le contexte, les relations de Maurice avec Madagascar dans ce contexte-là.
Et à noter cette question du député Arvin Babaji au Premier ministre lors de la PMQT qui voulait gagner un éclaircissement lors d'un investissement du milliardaire à Maurice, un séjour à Maurice ainsi que la vérification de fonds engagés. Le député qui peut interroger également le chef du gouvernement lors d'une éventuelle commission d'enquête autour de l'arrivée en jet privé. Au programme également, lors de cette PMQT, Patrick, une série de questions au Premier ministre Navin Ramgoolam, notamment un dossier sensible, comment la compensation de 5 millions d'euros à Ramasitanen, donc à ce départ de la Banque de Maurice.
Oui, le whip de l'opposition, Adrien Duval, pour revenir aussi le dernier voyage officiel du Premier ministre en Inde, qu'il a vu comme la composition de la délégation, les coûts, justification de ce déplacement. D'autres questions aussi, notamment sur le recrutement à la Banque de développement sous l'ancien régime, sous l'ancien gouvernement, la dissolution de la Special Striking Team, mais aussi détail au fonctionnement de cette équipe, saisie qu'ils ont fait, entre autres, et puis aussi la lutte du gouvernement de mon institution contre les drogues synthétiques. Le député indépendant franco-kirin pour demander le Premier ministre sur le droit de vote de Maurice expatrié. Comme on connaît, Priscilla, c'est une demande qui finit fait par expatrié depuis très 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 longtemps. Donc le Premier ministre peut bien éclaircir l'opinion, la voie que ce gouvernement compte emprunter par rapport au droit de vote de Mauricien expatriés, et Kushal Lobin, député leader de Nouveaux Démocrates, qui est un composant du gouvernement, peut intéresser au projet de loi sur la liberté d'information. Donc ça aussi nous rappelle que c'était dans le programme électoral, aussi dans le programme présidentiel, gouvernemental de 2025 à 2029.
2 projets de loi également qui pourraient examiner aujourd'hui à l'Assemblée nationale. Le premier concerne un amendement au code pénal lié à la souveraineté de Maurice sur les Chagos. Et le second, le Court of Jurisdiction Amendment Bill, qui vise à étendre la loi au tribunal de bons enfants à Rodrigue.
Donc, Priscilla, le Criminal Code Amendment Number 2 Bill, qui va passer aujourd'hui, qui est prévu pour débat et pour adoption aussi aujourd'hui, abroge l'article 76B du Code pénal. Donc, nous rappelle qu'en 2021, dans un contexte Côte Maurice, tu peux lutter pour gagner la souveraineté sur les Chagos. Donc, tu introduire ça. Donc, parce que tu interdire formellement de mépriser la souveraineté de Maurice sur toute partie de son territoire. Tu peux criminaliser la production, distribution, fourniture ou la commercialisation des pièces de monnaie, timbres, cartes officielles ou autres documents officiels dépeignant une altération de cette souveraineté. C'était une mesure surtout symbolique et dissuasive face à la contestation britannique sur les Chagos de l'époque, mais vu qu'il a acheté en mai dernier fini dans la cour sur la rétrocession de l'archipel des Chagos à Maurice, et qui ça d'ailleurs fini dans un texte de loi qui finit adopté la semaine dernière par la House of Commons britannique. Donc bientôt le texte de loi va passer à la House of Lords pour adoption. Donc amendement, cet article 76B du code pénal n'est plus à sous nécessité.
Autant donc pour cette séance de la PNQ, pour capable suivre la séance de la PMQT en ce moment même lors de nos pages Facebook défimedia.info. Merci Patrick Hilbert.
Merci à vous Priscilla.
Merci à toute l'équipe technique. À suivre de larges extraits de cette PNQ dans le journal signé Rukaya Korimbokus. À très bientôt.